Order. I'm going to call Matt Ducey.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Feeling slightly uncomfortable in the middle of something there. Can I... It's a pleasure to rise in support of my colleague Mark Mitchell on his bill, the Social Security Stopping Benefit Payments for Offenders Who Repeatedly Fail to Comply with Community Sentences Amendment Bill in its first reading. I'd like to acknowledge the very hard-working Member of Parliament for Rodney. I had the experience of going up there for a day and joining Mr Mitchell. We visited many health and social care services, and it was very apparent by the response that we were being received from the people on the streets and the health and social care workers about the acknowledgement of the work he does in his electorate. He's someone who's known who cares for the people in Rodney and cares for all people in Rodney. I'd also like to acknowledge Alfred Naro as the chair of the Social Services Select Committee. Although it has been pointed out by the opposition, a very busy Select Committee, it'd be fair to say he's dispensing the work at ease, and very much we've got time and space for this very important bill. So I'm looking forward for it to come into the Select Committee, where we'll get submissions and kick it round the legislative process. But let us be very clear, Mr Speaker, because this bill is about crime, and this government is tough on crime and tough on the causes of crime. And let us be very clear that criminal behaviour is a blight on our communities. There's many small towns in my electorate of Waimakadere, and they talk to me about all it takes is a few people in those small towns to participate in this behaviour, this criminal behaviour, and it's a blight on the whole community, Mr Speaker. It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars in public sector expense to private individuals, and very much the social and emotional cost to those people in those small towns, Mr Speaker. So what we're doing today with this very succinct bill is enabling people to do the work that they're employed to do, to give them the tools that enables them to make a difference in those people's lives. Because I have no doubt the people that we're talking about today, Mr Speaker, they don't want to carry on with this criminal behaviour. No. They want to get rescued from this pattern of behaviour. And for some people, it's about compulsion. Unfortunately, for some people, they hit rock bottom and then it's the only way up. And for some people, it's about compulsion. And this process will allow this, Mr Speaker. And when we look at the process that they ask across the House, well, if they bothered to read the bill, it's a very clear process, Mr Speaker. So people will be given a warning only if all other avenues have been exhausted, only if there's been breaches or failures in their community-based sentence, and only if they fail to comply with instruction. I would call that a very clear process. Not only that, but they get another warning. So they get 2 warnings, and then it takes 14 days. If that's not a careful process, Mr Speaker, I don't know what is. So people understand very clearly what is expected of them. Because in the end, what we're talking about here is rehabilitation and public safety. So for that opposition, for voting down this bill, they don't believe in rehabilitation and they don't believe in public safety, Mr Speaker. So that's why I support this bill and commend it to the House.
Good speech.